finally, after a way too long hiatus, we are back for the Let's Go Trophy Hunting series, and a lot obviously has happened since we were last out here for this. And the main thing, of course, is we technically accomplished the goal that this series set out to accomplish. We got our 200 whitetail, not during the series, but we did get it on stream, and that had been the entire point. But there are other things that we can kind of shift to, and one big one for me is looking for a 400 scoring Roosevelt elk just for our trophy lodge. We've had them in the past long before trophy lodges existed, and because we got our whitetail, I thought we'd kind of shift that direction to looking for a 400 elk, and especially with the changes to elk herds, I think this could be interesting. So we're out here on Whitehart Island. Of course, you saw the Mosin there. We have the camo pulsar, and we also have the 357, maybe for turkeys or something like that, but kind of switching up the main goal, but sticking with the overall series. Now, we may be after one particular kind of goal trophy with the 400 elk, but that doesn't mean that we're not trying to make a good varied lodge. And of course, making that shot through the brush maybe wasn't the best idea, but I don't know, blacktail, I seem to have them spook more than other species, and maybe a bit far back there with intestines. But this is one thing that kind of intrigues me. So with the original goal of looking for a 200 whitetail, we didn't spend much time up here in northern Whitehart Island. We were always down here at the southern end. Now, because we're looking for elk, it makes sense to spend time up here in the north as well, and we're also going to encounter a lot more blacktail, and we'll have potential to add some of them to the lodge. So it kind of works out. Right after we took that shot, we got another grunt, and a buck that is slightly better, 140 to 165. So again with the blacktail, I just find them to be, for whatever reason, a little more, I don't know, aware of their surroundings than other deer species. So maybe a 30-meter shot, not the best idea. I think that one should be single lung though, and by the time we get done tracking him, although, that looks, I'm not sure how it was a body hit. I guess this can go in the other direction as well. Go back and track the other buck, and when we get back to this, we should be good to pretty much track him down. At this point, we probably should have just brought like the cableback bow or something, but we're trying to stick with the weapon theme for in the trophy lodge. Hopefully in the end it'll kind of work out, and maybe kind of tracking stuff will have us ending up in an area later than we would have, and maybe something cool will be walking through by that time. But 147 for that guy. Interesting, that was a stomach hit. He was kind of walking downhill. I couldn't really see when I took the shot, but I'm more intrigued to see what happened with the body hit one over here. I just don't remember the arrow being that far over. I'm gonna guess it was a shoulder blade shot, but you can see my marker there on the map. It's not even 200 meters from where we hit him. Not even shoulder blade, just straight body, 158 score. Definitely not trophy lodge worthy, but a couple of decent bucks with some decent GM reward. And I don't know, considering both weren't great shots, it kind of worked out to where we could just run track them. No big delays since we had to go back and forth. I can't quite figure out what's happening here. We've got a bull elk out in front of us, but it's definitely from a herd. I actually shot a cow that came in first, just because there was no other sign of any other elk in the area. Finally, a proper drop shot, but I know there's another bull. I had them marked where they called it was somewhere down in here. It must be really steep or something. Like, the rest of the elk have to be stuck. I've got sent out, I've been calling, and I'm thinking of the two bull elk tracks that we had, this is probably the smaller of the two. So in some way, we're gonna try to sneak down there, and hopefully, because I know there's a bunch of cows too, hopefully we can at least get a look at them. For now, we'll grab this guy real quick and see our first bull elk of the hunt. Left lung and liver, we're lucky we even dropped him. 160.9, and that 380 kg will confirm that the bigger of the two in terms of the track weight is still down here somewhere. Now that is encouraging, 60 to 75 on that gobbler. I ended up fast traveling, just kind of giving up on that other elk. 260 to 75 gobblers. So this probably is a good day to have the 357. I'm going to guess we'll need it, And I think we're going to try to call them in a little bit closer. Maybe if I really trusted myself, and I don't because of the way we've been shooting so far today, I would try to just arrow that guy at 40 and hope to not spook anything. I just think we're best off bringing him closer and then going at 357, but I don't know, both have good enough weight estimates, up to 9.7 and up to 9.8 kg. I mean, a 70 turkey is the other thing, and I've been spending a bunch of time on Settlers Creeks just in my free time. Between elk and turkey, both Whitehart Island and Settlers are perfect for that. Maybe we have something here. Just because I think we can still manage, we're gonna try to drop this guy with the bow now that he's getting closer to about 20 meters. If we don't have to rush things, that is obviously ideal. So we'll just stick that arrow in. We did not get it. It's that guy right there that we need. I don't think that hit. That one did. Alright, so didn't go to plan. Much of the shooting thus far has not, but despite that, 2 shots at maybe eclipsing 70 on a gobbler. And these days, you know, with level 20 spotting, I mentioned this with whitetail a lot as well, rarely do I see a max weight estimate gobbler with good weight. So maybe 9.7 kg, fingers crossed. 67.2 though. I don't remember. We have a nice gobbler. I don't even know what map we shot it on. Probably Settlers, maybe it was here on Whitehart. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I'm not even sure what it is in the lodge, but that's a really good one regardless. And as per usual, I don't know what else to do in these trophy shots. I always feel like it's not filling enough of the screen. But I try to go for like a realistic thing, and generally, I think the way that you'd want to do it is hold up the fan of the gobbler, so that's about the best I can figure. So, 67 for that guy. I'm gonna go back and look after we claim this one, because we can taxonomize from our statistics and not have to worry about spending more GM or EM, just as long as we do it before we leave the hunt. But that one that we shot first had the slightly higher weight. Weight, beard, and spurs all goes into the overall score. And if we can get towards the top end of that 9.7-ish area, I still think there's a chance. I really don't know what is required as far as weight and stuff goes to top 70, but 9.2 for that guy, 66.8. I mean, really nice birds there side by side. We just made, what, 260-ish GM out of those 2 shots? I guess we'll trophy shot that one too. I mean, not too often you get 2 in the same flock. I don't know if I like this better. It's just hard to really give the illusion that you're holding the bird, especially when the hitboxes collide and like it's pushing the character back. But we'll tab out here shortly and go and check and see what we have in the lodge. I know it was a nice bird. I'm not so sure it was better than that 67 though. Evidently, all the way back in March, we had a 68 here on Whitehart Island, so that one is not going to be a lodge edition. I'm glad I didn't taxonomize it. But we could have done 2 turkeys. We have a 28 pheasant from loggers as well. So a couple of really nice kills, definitely nice for the GM, but not quite gonna best the one that we had from before. Somehow it would seem we've gotten caught up in just hunting turkeys, and by the way, just an interesting little thing that seems to happen all the time, and I don't know why. Anytime that it's not like a really good beard or spurs on a gobbler, it seems like they're consistently right at the max weight estimate, and often right at the top end, 9.8, 9.9 kg. Now, on our 67, I think it was 9.7 or something like that, but a lot of times I feel like that is the missing factor, and on the lower scoring birds, the weight is almost never the issue. In this case at least, it's not a high weight turkey, but basically the same score estimate. There are some hens coming in behind him, but right before the first one gobbled, I was getting ready to fast travel and try to get into some more elk. We still only have that one smaller bull, and I would like to hopefully at least get a 300 plus, and I'm not sure if anything happened with like locations of the elk herds or if it is just the kind of changing to where you get more cows and bulls mixed into the herds. But by the way, 9.8 kg, as I was talking about, often heavy birds. But yeah, I don't know if we're likely to run into elk in the same areas we always have. I would like to think we'll still be able to find a good few, but the later into the hunt we get, the more likely it is that we're going to possibly walk past herds of sleeping elk, so I want to keep it moving. Now that's not a bad coyote. We have a melanistic female coyote from one of the last episodes we had of the series before everything went crazy with the 200 and the 7 years on YouTube and all that. Maybe another medium platform edition, at least kind of for now. Need to relocate that one, so I've not called. I just fast traveled here, and all these coyotes are right around the tower. I kind of hate to use the 357, but we're probably going to use the 357 as soon as we can figure out wherever he went. That's him there, kind of walking in a good direction. If we can just get an opportunity to get a shot in there. I'm always afraid, especially in towers, that animals are just going to spook, and I probably should have used the Mosin just to use it, but the 357 did well enough. But especially with so many around, and I had gotten a call right as I fast traveled that seemed to be just on kind of the north side of that tower. I never saw where that coyote was. Let's see what we got for this guy. He was max weight estimate. 24.9 kg ain't bad. 54.7. We have all these animals today that are borderline. Let's wait on that one. I think at the very end, if we don't have anything to tax, we can probably throw that in the lodge and at least fill that plaque kind of temporarily. But still got some time. I still want to find some other elk. It's been a little quiet out here. I guess eventually all roads lead back to hunting whitetail, and we've got a nice buck coming in, 135 to 160. Certainly not one that will end up in the lodge, but kind of falls into the category of a lot of what we've seen today. Good sized stuff, just not quite lodge worthy. I don't know if that was just a coincidence. It looked like he had spotted us from that far away. I can't imagine that he did, but I don't know, he looked our direction longer than I would have expected. We should have been good in camouflage, but regardless, got to the Mosin, got to take him down. Lung and liver at 40 meters, I guess that wasn't as far as I thought. And a 157 score, so technically, he is bigger than that settler's buck, but now I think because we're going to be chasing elk a little bit more, there's a fair chance we'll do more hunts on Whitehart Island, and I would like to think we can get a blacktail, eventually a mule deer from loggers too. We'll still go over there, and, you know, maybe replace a 153 whitetail with something a little better than, say, a 157 whitetail. Well, finally, we have what should be a 300 plus Roosevelt elk, 285 to 330. He's lacking a lot for the back tines. If he had good back tines, he could be probably close to 350 with that frame. But as is, and especially with something trotting at us, we're going to go ahead and take that shot. There were a number of elk around here, and that seems to be the best one. So hopefully that shot was a lung. I think it should have been. Maybe the one downfall to carrying a classic rifle. Not much in terms of magnification, but I would think that's going to take him down. Not too bad, and I don't know, he's got really good brow tines, and then completely lacking for the back tines. Right lung at 58 meters, 293 actually. I thought he was bigger than that, but even still, at least nice to see a big frame, so I think we will go ahead and tax that coyote. At the very least, it'll kind of help to get a bit of a layout to try to improve in the future. And I don't know if we can fast travel just yet. We can run that distance fairly quickly though. So I've talked about it a couple of times. For this particular series in the maps that we're hunting, bobcat and coyote are the only species that can go on these platforms. So to have a good sized bobcat at 9.2, obviously the melanistic coyote from one of the last times we were out here, goodness, over a month and a half ago, and then a good sized coyote on this side at 54.7, hopefully one we can improve eventually. I think we're going to be looking good. I'd like to ideally have maybe a 56, 57 plus, but we'll kind of see where that leads. Maybe next time we're on loggers, or even out here on Whitehart again, but I like it. It's cool to see the lodge slowly filling up. I do have the weapons on the wall, the Mosin up there, and the 357 on this side. The bow, of course, has been sitting here for a while, but it's really cool. I'm looking forward to eventually putting something in this center full body platform. I think that's going to be a big step kind of to making the lodge really start to feel like, you know, a completed kind of effort. But I like what we have so far. Good to have those medium platform filled. I thought that might be one of the last things we did. And all three of them are now filled with a good sized animal. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.